Hello and welcome to this how to help video on writing a multiplier. So this is a must-have skill if we're going to be successful at percentages. It is going to be used moving forward in nearly all the other percentage videos that I'm going to be doing. So percentages 3, percentages 4, and so on. That's how important this skill is. Let's get on with it. Okay, so a multiplier is called a multiplier because it's going to be a number that we use with the times sign. So it's going to be times whatever number I come up with when I create the multiplier. And this times never changes to a divide, which is a really common thing that I see people doing. And when we get to that point, I'll explain why people are tempted to do that. So it's called a multiplier because when we use it, we will always times by it. Okay, so that's the first thing. We need them in any percent question that's asking us to increase or decrease, okay? So if I've got an increase question, I am going to have a question where my final answer is going to be bigger, okay? I'm going to have the original 100% of whatever they're talking about, and then I'm going to increase it by the percentage I'm told to increase it by. So the way to write a multiplier is to be thinking about, right, I've got 100%. So you write down the 100%. You're going to add whatever percent is given to you in the question. So if they say increase by 15%, you add 15. I want to get bigger. And then you use your knowledge of the percent sign. You know the percent sign means out of 100. So what you do is you say, right, I've got 100% plus 15%. That's 115%, which is the same as 115 out of 100. And that's it. That's a multiplier. It's a fraction version of a multiplier. And I would generally change that now into a decimal because decimals can be a bit easier to work with. And that's really, really simple because it's a percentage and we're being told to divide by 100. We take the 115, we go in 2 places because we're dividing by 100. And then that would be the number I would use as my multiplier. Okay, 1.15. So let's see that again. Let's say my question is saying increase by 5%. I know I want all 100%. I want to increase it by 5%, which is going to give me 105%. That means that, and its decimal version, remember, just come in 2 places and you've got 1.05. Never take shortcuts. Do this step. The students that take shortcuts can go wrong. It's as simple as that. Make sure that you're writing it down so your eyes are showing your brain what it needs to do. Really, really important. One more increase, and then I'm going to show you decrease. Increase by 7.6%. We've got to know how to write it for a decimal as well. Often these questions are on a calculator paper, but the calculator is not writing the multiplier for you. It's going to do all the maths, but it isn't writing the multiplier. This skill is essential. So I don't change my method. It's 100% plus 7.6%. That is going to be 107.6%, which is the same as 107.6 over 100. You don't have to write this. Once you get confident, you'll probably skip this altogether. Now, I've got to divide by 100, but it's really important that I count from my decimal. Because there's already a decimal there, I've got to move 2 from the point. So I end up with 1.076. Don't lose that 0. Don't lose any of your digits. And there is your multiplier when you've been given a decimal. Okay, let's have a quick look at the decrease. So decrease will mean, let's say we're going to decrease by 12%. Okay, now decrease means that my final answer will be smaller than what I originally had. And this is where people want to be dividing, because they know multiplying makes things bigger and dividing makes things smaller. So it feels very natural and very normal to divide, but it's a multiplier. I've got to times, all right? So I'm going to take my 100%. Now, if I added for increase, what am I going to do for decrease? I'm going to take away. So take away 12%, that is going to equal 88%, which is the same as saying 88 over 100, or in two places, decimals here, using the decimal 0.88. And it's because when I go through that process, I end up with 0 point. Because I'm getting a multiplier that is less than 1, it will generate me, when I do the multiplication, a number that's smaller than the original. Perfect, exactly what I want. So one more decrease. It's the same as increase. The only thing that's different is that you take away and not add. So decrease by, let's do a decimal this time, 1.8%. So you're going to do your 100%, take away 1.8%. Now, like I say, these are normally on calculator papers. So you don't have to be really good at this piece of maths, because you'll probably be able to just put it straight into your calculator anyway. It is 98.2%. The fraction equivalent looks like this, and then the actual decimal equivalent, decimal point's going to end up there, is going to be 0.982. And that is a multiplier. It's not tricky. It's not massively tricky, but it's essential. And if we don't feel secure and confident here, all of our percentage work is going to feel tricky and difficult. So make sure that you really understand your multipliers before you start using them in percentage problems. Okay, I hope you found this how-to video helpful. And if you like what you've seen today, then always please subscribe.